Hello, dear students. Welcome to this new class. This is Entrepreneurship 1. I'm Miss Tania Poveda. Let's start. Remember to download the information so you can keep it on your computer or cell phone or tablet, and you can check it whenever you need to, okay? So don't forget to do that. Today, we're going to start with these types of organizations. Do you have an idea about them? You probably studied this in Spanish before. Well, today is like a general view, only definition, characteristics, and classification. But only the classification, like the names, not the explanation, because I'm going to keep that for later. Are you ready? Okay, first of all, what is an organization? What do you remember or what do you know about them? Any idea? It's very similar in Spanish, the word organization. If not, we're going to watch this video and you're going to hear something really important and actually something I like a lot. It's that in the beginning of the video, this guy is explaining where the word organization comes from. So pay attention to that. It's like a curious information. And in the end of the video, pretty much in the end, he's going to mention 3 characteristics of organizations, like common characteristics of most organizations around the world. Okay? So are you ready? Let's watch.
Organization is derived from the Greek word organon, which means organ. Organization can be said as a group of people who work together in an organized way for shared purpose or purposes. Common characteristics of organization includes goals, structure, and persons. There are 2 types of persons in organization. 1. Operatives. Operatives are persons in the organization who work directly on a job or task and have no responsibility for overseeing the work of others. Second, managers. Persons in an organization who direct the activities of others and responsible for the work of others can be said as managers. Thank you.
Okay, that was it. Not much, only important information. So the first question about what an organization is, we can summarize like this. Before continuing, if you have a folder or a notebook and you want to take notes of this is the time to do it. So pause the video, go for a pen or a pencil and copy this information. If you have a folder or a notebook with you. Otherwise, you are going to receive this PPT presentation in Educai that you can download and keep in your computer. Okay, so what is an organization? An organization that comes from a word organ is the group of people with specific responsibilities acting together for achieving a specific purpose determined by the organization. So as you saw in the video, there were different types of functions, different types of people working in the organization. They do different jobs, but everybody has the same goal. We're going to study about this later, like being more specific, but this is like the general definition. Also, an organization is an entity where 2 or more persons work together to achieve a goal or a common goal. Okay, so we have group of people with specific responsibilities achieving the same purpose, or an entity where two or more people work together for the same or the common goal. Okay? So knowing this, I can skip and going to the main characteristics. And it's very important that you listen to me, take notes if you need to, because I'm going to explain these three characteristics. So it's not only to memorize goals, structures, and people, also to understand. So if you're taking notes, that's great. Otherwise, watch this video as many times as you need. Okay? Well, when we're talking about characteristics of organizations, it's very important we recognize that here it says main characteristics. It means the most important ones. Also, the most common characteristics that you find in organizations, because obviously there are other characteristics. But this is like most of organizations have. Got it? Okay, so in blue we have goals, and I wanted to write objectives too. So what is a goal or what is an objective? Basically, it's the purpose of your work. Like right now, I'm making this video. So what is my objective with this video? It's just to sit down here in front of a computer, speaking and telling you some information? No, that's the process. My objective or my goal is to transmit information for you to use in the future as entrepreneurs. So that's the main objective. That's the goal. That's what I want in the future. When we're talking about goals or objectives, we're talking about future. It can be short-term future, like tomorrow or maybe later, or long-term objectives, like in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So right now, when I'm telling you all this information about goals, think about yourself. What is your short-term goal? Maybe because you're in high school, because you're studying, your main goal in life, short-term. Short-term means like in a short period of time. Probably your main goal is to have some good grades and pass year and continue next year. Maybe. Or maybe you are already thinking on future long-term goals, like going to university, travel to other country, have a professional degree, etc. Okay? So that's one of the characteristics, goals. What you plan to do in the future, what you want to reach in the future. Okay, so in green, we have a structure. Structure. What is a structure? So when you build a house, the house has a structure. It means it's what it's inside and keep the house together. Your human body have an internal structure. Basically, I can say that there are many things that belong to the structure, but in general, they are also the bones. And because the bones are together, and because they are in the right place, you can move your body and you can keep standing, you can walk and do other stuff. So that's the structure in an organization. It's the different functions of different people, the different departments, how people work. That's the structure. So structures, even the companies have different objectives and different products or services, structures. Every organization has to have a structure. They're going to be different, of course, because we're talking about different organizations, like goals. Not all the companies, all the organizations have the same goals, right? Even if it's the same one or the same kind of product, that's what I mean. Like if we're talking about to soda factories, no matter the brand, but the main goal probably is making money, but also they have secondary goals. So for one company, probably one of the secondary goals is going to be keeping their employees happy. And the other one is going to be something different, like working 24/7, like being always working. So in structure, it's the same. The structure is going to be according to the company, according to what they do and how they do it. It's going to be different, but no matter how it is, each company has to have its own structure. Okay? Good. And finally, of course, we have to have people working in an organization because that's what human beings do. So if you think right now about the smallest organization you know, maybe if you go to any supermarket, maybe one by your house. It's very small supermarket or mini market in this case. You're going to have people working there. Probably you have a cashier, people at the door. By the door, you're going to find managers around, and probably they have other person working in systems and you don't see them. Well, so you have these people working in the organization doing their own specific functions. What happens if you go to a big supermarket? You go to a mall and then you go to these huge supermarkets that have different departments, all kind of products. Again, you're going to find people by the door, you're going to find people working on the shelves, people cleaning, cashiers, managers, and people that you don't see, like those working in systems, people working on the website, etc. So it's very important we recognize that we have people in the company doing their own specific function. And it's very important also that you recognize and you know that the functions, no matter how big they are or how difficult or easy you think they are, all of them are important. All of the functions in an organization, in a company, in a business are important. Without them, things wouldn't be that good. Okay? So these were the three main characteristics of an organization. Remember that. And just making sure that you remember what an organization is a group of people with specific responsibilities acting together for achieving a specific purpose determined by the organization. It also is an entity where two or more persons work together to achieve a goal or a common goal. That's it about definition and characteristics. And now, classification. Classification. How can you classify organizations? Today, I'm going just to mention the types of organizations, the types of classifications of organizations. But in future classes, I'm going to explain each of them so we can have more time and focus better on each type of organization and understand much, much better. So today, we only listen, we only take notes if we need to, or print screen, or print the PPT presentation, whatever you need, okay? So these are the types of organizations. How do we classify organizations? According to the sector, according to the size, and according to the ownership. This is a general view. Next classes, we're going to talk about classification according to the sector, classification of organizations according to the size, and classification of organizations according to ownership. Okay? So just to know a general view about sector, maybe you study this in Spanish, like primary sector, secondary sector. Does it sound familiar to you? Yes, maybe you remember a class in Spanish, maybe social studies. I remember I studied this when I was in high school, so you probably remember too. And if you don't remember or you don't know it, it's okay. We're going to study that later, so don't worry too much. So basically it's the activity of the organizations. We have different organizations working in similar jobs. Like we have food, for example, you process food. You have factories, you have services. Maybe you have a farm and you produce vegetables. So according to the sector of production, it's this type of organization. What about size? Well, size is kind of easier to understand because obviously we're talking about the size of the organization. So we can have like very, very small organizations, like maybe you are the only one, maybe with a partner. So you have two people together working together and you create your own organization. That's good. It can be a micro organization or it can be like a multinational organization with branches all around the world, like in Ecuador, United States, in Europe, in all South America, etc. So that's the classification according to the size. I'm going to explain about this later. And finally, you want to know who the owner of a company or the owner of an organization is, right? So if you pay a little bit of attention, sometimes you've seen like names that include the type of organization it is. So probably it's like two people working together, both are the owners, that's okay. Maybe it's not only two people, but maybe hundreds of people, or maybe only one person. So that's according to the size also. And well, basically, who really owns the company or the organization? They can be private, they can be public, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's it for today. Not too much, but very, very important information, like an introduction of the following classes in the future that we can work better on each this type of organizations and classifications. If you have any question, please text me anytime. I'll be glad to explain. Watch this video again. Remember to take notes, to save this information on your computer, and study so we can continue with next class. Thank you very much for your attention. That was it for today. Organizations, characteristics, definition, and types. That was the class for today. Have a wonderful week. See you next week. See you next class. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands. Bye-bye, everybody.